Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we talk about the much anticipated Sea of Thieves. Hey guys, Tater here with my artist Gary. We have been looking forward to Sea of Thieves for quite some time. It claims to come out this year, but no date has been given. I have to commend them for doing this. It doesn't happen often. It's like saying, hey, it'll be ready when we want it to be ready. Cool, community getting a bit of sass there. Anyway, the trailers are awesome, the gameplay previews are awesome, and if you haven't checked it out, do it. Do it. Last year, around June, the rumor was that there was a secret beta. I can confirm that this was bullshit. As of a few weeks ago, they released a technical alpha, which sadly I didn't get to be a part of. But I will not take this into consideration when giving predictions. A few days ago, they released a Windows 10 specific technical alpha. I was so excited, but once again I didn't get to play. The technical alpha was only given to 1,000 people and lasted about 4 hours. Also, I'm sure there were legal sides restricting making a video about it anyway. However, I'm going to make a few predictions because the gameplay they have released really exposes a lot. Right, there are many elements to talk about, starting with aesthetic. They have a nice stylized look similar to Rime, Mirror's Edge, Journey and The Witness. I'm starting to notice a trend in the popularity of this style. Quite frankly, I'm all for it. The ocean mechanics are incredibly well made, and this is only from a preview. It looks amazing. The characters follow exaggerated features, and despite the cartoony feel, I actually believe that the game will dominate an older age range. By older, I mean 18 to 25. The reasons for this prediction is related to the teamwork required. In a game where lack of teamwork heavily affects the outcome, the younger age range doesn't often get accepted. A younger audience tends to linger on games where individuality takes the cake. Think of all the high-pitched people on Call of Duty, for example, a game that doesn't require teamwork because people don't really care about the outcome. Sea of Thieves, however, has a much longer playtime. Seeing how much the players achieved in a 40-minute gameplay session really shows this. Not many younger people will have the patience to do this task efficiently. Instead, I believe they will watch their heroes on YouTube. No doubts players like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye will jump straight into Sea of Thieves. The gameplay does suggest a lot of teamwork, but after praising them for aesthetic, I have to question their gameplay. The gameplay looks fantastic. I'm just going to get that out of the way. I'm playing this game regardless of reviews. I need to see it for myself. The only reason I question it is because of past games. Let's travel way back to 2012, the release of Guns of Icarus. If you purchase this, you will understand how good the game was. I played quite close to their launch, and I must say it was definitely an awesome experience. Friends got together and made profiles using names from Victorian England, so Professor Ted Stevenson and his group of engineers got together on the weekends to take on a steamship battle. The roleplay in this game was intense, people from other ships calling flanks on the starboard side, me being confused where the starboard side was, and really getting into strategy. However, in about half a year, the community started to die out. Living in the oceanic region, it was hard to find games with a good connection, so I uninstalled. I'm sure a lot of people did the same, and I'm sure a lot of people stayed playing. In 2016, I reinstalled to check out the community. I wanted to give it another go, but there were only about 200 to 300 people on at their peak, going as low as 30 when players from America went to bed. The game today is basically dead. The reviews on their original game are really eating into their community, who are angry at the new $20 DLC, but that is for another video. Sea of Thieves is almost exactly the same in the interest of gameplay. There are few differences, but I'll get to that later. Sea of Thieves has a large following or interest connected whilst we eagerly await its release. The core gameplay being on a ship, defending yourself against other players or going into the offense to steal other players' collected treasure. Guns of Icarus did this in an arena-styled fashion, not really giving the players the freedom to appreciate the environment. Sea of Thieves deserves a handshake towards allowing an open world. I stopped playing Guns of Icarus quickly through the lack of reward, and the gameplay was repetitive. If we grind down Sea of Thieves, we will get a better understanding of what it actually offers. So, first up, combat. Players are exposed to a fairly common combat system, first-person shooter style, which has a million reviews on it. There's not much need to talk about that. The real combat system comes from the ship battles. Now, as far as I can see, spending hours watching gameplay, the ships all appear to be the same, no classes or customization. This does introduce balance to the game, a feature I think is important if the game is going to be played by a large amount of people. On the other hand, lack of progression is what will drive players out. If you have nothing that gives advantage over other players, we tend to believe that our time and hard work playing isn't worth it. I'm not going to solidify this because if we are surprised by new ships and guns in the final release, it is better than them revealing it in the trailers before the game comes out. The combat playstyle is similar to Guns of Icarus. Players are manning cannons, somebody is at command, usually piloting the ship, and some people are repairing the ship. There doesn't seem to be roles assigned to players. They can sort of choose and change frequently amongst themselves based on who is doing a better job in what area. This method works between friends, but I have my doubts when it comes to randomized teams. In League of Legends, the team is the core component. If a team member is unskilled, we usually try to help them out, or we send them to hell with abusive comments. So imagine a game like this. If the reward is high enough for winning, then the community becomes competitive. Competition will induce two types of people, those who help and those who put down. I remember the Guns of Icarus community being extremely helpful on my first games. As I played with more people, they slowly began to get abusive and it led me to stop playing. So if the abusive players eventually trump the friendlier casual players, then you have a game that is not only driving people away, but not adding to the point of their game, which is teamwork. The assumption in people's minds is that the game requires teamwork, therefore everyone who plays is going to work as a team. This is complete and utter bullshit, but a lot of people think that way. It's actually surprising. Watch all the gameplay footage for Sea of Thieves. There is very little promotional content, but the way they have marketed the game is to craft the community they want. By the style of footage used in their teasers and gameplay trailers, they are showing players that the game is made for these types of people. Constant communication and laughter, teamwork, but also having a good time. When you think about it, the community isn't actually that large. The company has a small following in comparison to other games, but maybe they do have a more dedicated community because of this. Even signing up for the beta, they asked rather odd questions that have never been asked before, like, rate what functions are important to you, and what goal do you want to achieve playing Sea of Thieves? Weird, right? These are suspiciously community building questions and they are still in development, so either they are crafting a community to dominate the game or they are learning what type of community takes interest. This is the most dedication towards community I've seen come out of a company and the game isn't even released yet. Moving on, there is one other component that needs attention, which is the treasure side of the game. Treasure is a part of the game introducing a reward for exploration. All I can really say is that the hard work attempting to find this treasure, and based on how long it takes the developers, you can bet it's going to take a while. After finding it, it seems you need to get it to a place where it can be cashed in. This sounds great, right? Balanced gameplay. Players gain a reward for their hard work. Then we introduce a gang of people who do not spend their time exploring, rather killing people who have spent ages trying to find this treasure. Now we have a game that changes perspective. People will realize that this may be the easiest option. Players don't need to explore anymore, they just need to get better at fighting or need more people on their team. Imagine two ships ganging up on some new people and how they will react. I don't think this game can function without either component, so what will they actually do about it? The only real way to fix this is the community that they have been building, so I hope that this counters all issues. The game still looks really good and it seems like my cup of tea, so regardless of my picky concerns, I'm still going to play it and hopefully I'll see you on there. Thanks for watching everyone. Whilst I end this segment, Gary is going to draw something. Comment below what you think it is and the most creative comments will find themselves in a video. For those who want to apply for the beta program, you can find it at seaofthieves.com/insider. Link should be in the description below. If you have any suggestions about this channel, you can find me on Discord. Link should be below. On behalf of Gary and I, paper is always better to write on. That was so late.